podcast contains subject matter that may be disturbing to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
For imprints one.
It's time to open the door in your mind. Sit back and listen to true horror. But be careful what you allow in. Because it's time to go through the fog. This week's story is The Jack in the Box at Christmas, posted by user RudeProject9 to r/scary stories. The lights were bright. I could smell my mom's cooking from my room. The fragrance of gingerbread wafted into my room. It was the night before Christmas and my mom was in the kitchen making food for the next day. The sounds emanating from the kitchen excited me. This was the best time of the year for me. The rest of the year paled in comparison. I was a loner at school and summer wasn't exactly something I looked forward to. I had no friends to hang out with, but come Christmas, I could put all the things I wanted onto my wish list and make all the kids at school jealous. I'd spent all year planning for my wish list, and this Christmas I wanted a game system, a laptop, or these rad shoes I saw at the mall. Any of those were enough to make Josh shut his stupid face. I was tired of him pushing me around at school, and the fact that he had so many friends and all the girls running after him made me feel so angry. He didn't deserve any of that. I closed my eyes and imagined how I would feel when I woke up and tore open the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I tried to fall asleep, but my anxiety made me restless. I wondered how long it would take for my mom to go to sleep. Usually she went to sleep around 3 a.m. to get some rest after a productive day before Christmas. After a few hours of tossing and turning and sneaking to my bedroom door, peeking underneath to see if my mom was still outside, I finally saw her pack her things up in the kitchen and head upstairs. I stuck outside, creeping around slowly to make sure I was making as little noise as possible. I scurried up to the tree and saw a bounty of presents in front of me with a wide range of colors. My eyes widened. I scanned through them to see which ones had my name written on them. Several were addressed to me, of all shapes and sizes. I tried to guess which ones might contain what I asked for on my wish list. I was giddy with excitement while running my fingers over the tops of the presents before ending on a small one with my name on it. This one looked different from the others. Bland in color, and the wrapping seemed a little loose. Still, it had something about it that drew me to it. I decided to see if I could open it without getting caught. The wrapping was a bit loose anyways, so I slowly unwrapped it, careful not to tear any of the paper. The gift contained a strange box inside. It was made of wood, and I lifted the lid to peer inside of what was in there. It was another box. What was this, some kind of trick? I took the box out of the wooden box. It was small, painted on all sides. I cradled it in my hands and turned it around with my fingers to examine it more closely. It had a small wind-up lever on the right side of it. It clearly had to be a jack-in-the-box kind of toy. I slowly wound the toy and creepy music started playing from the box. I quickly stopped turning the lever to stop from waking my mom. The lever, however, kept turning on its own. I let out a small gasp of fright and rushed into my room. I couldn't afford to get caught out here peeking at the presents. That would not turn out good for me. The box kept going, the music increasing in speed and volume. I started sweating. The music had an eerie tone and a frequency to it that made my bones feel a cold shiver. Suddenly, the music stopped. Nothing happened. It didn't pop up or anything. It stayed like this for 10 minutes before I picked it up and rattled the box. That's when it popped open, and a hand reached out and grabbed my hand. I jumped and screamed. It was a real hand, cold, bony, plasticky, and rubbery to the touch. I threw the box across the room and it hit the wall and fell to the floor. My mom rushed inside to see what the commotion was all about. I told her, that box, it grabbed me. It actually had a hand inside. My mom switched on the light and the box was nowhere to be found. She frowned and shut the light off, telling me I need to go to sleep instead of making up stories and yelling to wake the whole house up. I couldn't believe the box was gone, just like that. I felt a burn on my wrist where the hand had grabbed me. I looked down to see a red mark. I closed my eyes to avoid the pain. I opened them again when I felt something on my chest. It was the box. I was freaked out. It appeared out of nowhere. I had thrown it across the room and now it was on my chest, just sitting there. I decided to look at the box again. I flipped it around to see an inscription at the bottom that read, "Open the box before Christmas, you'll lose your hand. Have the patience to wait, and you'll receive a gift that's grand." I shuddered and my eyes widened with terror. That couldn't be true. The box had to be some kind of tale to scare young kids. And maybe that hand was robotic or whatever. It couldn't have been real. I turned over and wrapped the blankets around me. I closed my eyes and slowly drifted off to sleep with tears in my eyes. I woke up to the sound of my mom shuffling around outside. I rushed outside with excitement. I couldn't wait to grab a present. My mother greeted me with a smile and a good morning. I ran over to my gifts and slowly started unraveling the bow on one of the biggest one. I felt a sting on my wrist. It hurt so badly. I looked down to see a strange sight indeed. My hand was gone. I turned to my mom and said, "Mom, my hand." She looked and let out a terrible scream.
Oh my God!
I should have never opened the Jack in the Box.
Through the Fog is recorded and edited by Haptic. Produced by Flyover State Park and Kevin Caravan. All stories are recorded with the original author's permission or released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. For more episodes, visit throughthefogcast.com or follow fog_cast on Twitter. Links to both are in the show notes. You can support the show by visiting buymeacoffee.com/throughthefog or simply by rating and reviewing on your podcatcher of choice. It's the simplest way to support independent shows like these. Whatever you decide to do, though, thank you for listening, and talk to you next week.
This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.